allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is, oh wait, y'all don't know me. Hi, my name is Alicia, and welcome to the very first video for Unicorn Dreams and Strange Things. So initially, I had this whole plan on how I was gonna shoot this video. I was gonna have my GoPro with my tripod set up and my iPhone on its tripod, and it was gonna be this great video with all these different angles. And I left my GoPro tripod and I said, you know what? That's a sign. Let's just make the first video simple. Y'all don't even know me yet. I ain't gonna give y'all the extra just yet. So, again, my name is Alicia. I am currently a catastrophe adjuster. So what that is, I work in property and casualty insurance claims. And after a natural disaster, whether it be a hailstorm, fire, tornado, hurricane, my most recent deployment was working in Tampa, Florida for Hurricane Milton. Coincidentally, I had to leave my home in Georgia that was hit by Helene to work for Tampa. So just to give you a little bit of a background on me and what I do. So you may have noticed that I am in a hotel. The reason why I am in a hotel and why I decided to shoot my first video in a hotel is because this is where you're gonna see me a lot. I'm traveling a lot. I usually only see home about 4 days every 4 to 6 weeks. But for the next few weeks, I'll actually be at home because on Friday, January 31st, I will be getting Lipo 360 and I will be taking you on my recovery journey with me. So a little bit of background in reference to my health, because that is what the first few videos are going to be about. So I want to be as open and transparent as possible. So in November of 2021, I had weight loss surgery. I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. And from that procedure, I have been able to lose about 150 pounds. My highest weight that was documented was 360, I believe. And I'm under 5 feet tall. I'm 4'11". So I was literally as wide as I was tall. I had only ever had jobs that allowed for me to sit and be lazy and eat all day. And at the time, I was still working a job that allowed that. I was actually working in underwriting at the time for insurance, and it was a work-at-home job. I realized that I had really good health insurance with that job, and I decided that I would go ahead and get the sleeve surgery in order to get my health back on track. At the time, my A1C was a 7.1, so I was diabetic. I actually found out I was diabetic literally 2 weeks before I had my surgery. I had been having a history of high blood pressure. Cholesterol, surprisingly, was great. Never had any cholesterol issues. I thought that was going to be the one thing, because of my eating habits, that would have been sky high, but it wasn't. So I had that surgery November of 2021, and it saved my life in more than one way. So after I had the surgery, everything was going fine. I was up, moving around, driving. I want to say after 5 days, going to get my nails done, hair done, living my best life. On day 10 is when I started to experience some really, really bad pain, like right in this area. And because acid reflux is a side effect of weight loss surgery, I figured, okay, this is just really, really bad heartburn. Oh, apologies for my nails. I didn't have time to get them done before I came here. And to be honest, if I'm gonna keep it a buck, this ain't gonna be the first time that y'all see my nails look like this, because I do have a very physical job, catastrophe adjusting. I have to carry a ladder. I have to go on people's roofs. Sometimes we have to go in crawl spaces, attics. Nails break, paint chips off. I get them done when I can get them done. So about 10 days after I had the weight loss surgery, I started to have this pain like right up in here. So I ignored it, went on about my day. I think I actually had a nail appointment that day actually, and the whole time, my friend Allison, who's also my nail tech, she kept asking, you sure you good? You sure you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Went, stop by someone's house, pay a visit with them, play with their newborn baby. Again, all while in pain, because I'm thinking it's just acid reflux. Okay, so that night, I want to say I had to be around, it was after midnight. I know that much. I want to say it was 2 a.m. I got up and what I did was, it was at midnight, because I woke up, was having that really bad pain again. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and take this acid reflux medicine, lay myself back down, start over again tomorrow. It may not have even been a full 2 hours, but I remember I woke up. It's like, you ever had something just wake you up out of your sleep right before something happens, but you don't know what's about to happen, but your body just jolts up? That's what happened. And so I sat up, I swung my feet over the bed, and as I was getting down is when my mouth started to water, or get out of the bed, I should say, is when my mouth started to water, like, okay, something's about to come back up. So I grabbed a plastic bag. It was the first thing I had, because again, I was 10 days post-op. So I had like just little baggies in my room and stuff, just in case I needed to throw something away and I couldn't make it to the kitchen at that time. I could just tie it up in that bag and throw it away. So I grabbed one of those bags. It was a plastic bag. Like, it wasn't a thick bag. It wasn't anything that spectacular. But what made me really, really be like, oh, well, maybe you need to go to the hospital, is because when I vomited, it was with such force that it broke the plastic bag. Never in my life have I had that happen before. So I was like, oh, maybe I need to go to the ER. Luckily, my mother was staying with me at the time, so I woke her up. She took me to the ER. We're sitting there. It's maybe 4 or 5 hours. I'm not sure, but I remember I kept telling them, I'm in a lot of pain. I just had weight loss surgery and I'm vomiting. And they triaged me, deemed that I wasn't an emergency, sent me back out into the the ER waiting room. I was in so much pain that I went and laid down in my car and just told my mom, please just call me whenever they're ready to call me back and I will come back inside. I think I laid down for maybe 15 minutes, and then at that point, laying down was painful. Like, breathing was painful. So I knew something was wrong. I hobbled back into the ER. I went up to the front desk and I was like, hey, this pain is getting worse. I'm really not sure what's happening, but I know something's wrong. 2021, you know, COVID is booming. So everybody was at the ER. I was not showing any immediate symptoms because I wasn't vomiting anymore, because I had nothing to vomit left. So they just kept saying, we'll get to you when we can get to you. We'll get to you when we can get to you. Whatever. So they finally called me back because I had recently had surgery, a vertical sleeve gastrectomy, where they only take out about 80% of your stomach. They don't touch your intestines. And I'm bringing that point up to say because I actually thought about getting gastric bypass that would reroute your intestines, but something in me just kept saying no. And then I was like, well, I don't want to lose weight super, super fast. So let me get the sleeve. That seems to be slower. People seem to have less health issues. And I just feel like that'll be the best fit for me. I am very grateful that I did make that decision, because when I went in for my CT scan, at this point, I was in so much pain, I was trembling. And I did my best to hold still in the machine. So we finally it feels like an hour, and I know it wasn't that long, but it was just, I was in so much pain. So we finally get through all the imaging. They wheel me back into the room. Then a doctor comes in and was like, we need to take another look. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I was moving too much. It's still not registering in my mind that something may be like big wrong because I wasn't throwing up anymore. Yes, I was in pain, but I also had surgery 10 days ago. So I'm just thinking it's from that, even though I had literally no pain up until that day. So they wheel me back in there. They take more images, and this time I'm noticing it's twice as long as the first time. So the wheels in my head still aren't spinning because at this point I'm delirious, I'm dehydrated, I'm exhausted, and I'm in a lot of pain. So it's still not clicking in my head that something may be wrong. So they wheel me back to the room this time. Now, that same doctor that said we needed to look at more images came in with 2 other doctors with him. So at that point, I'm like, oh no, what's wrong? So he was like, so I called your surgeon, I got him on the phone. We're gonna have to admit you because you have an intestinal ischemia. What that is the main artery that runs from your intestines to your heart. I had a blood clot. So if any little piece of that would have broken off, I probably would have had a heart attack and I wouldn't be standing here talking to you today. And the reason why I say that I'm glad that I didn't do the bypass is because who knows what would have happened if they messed with my intestines and then I still got that blood clot. So the reason why I say it saved my life in multiple ways is because I spent 3 days in the hospital. They treated me, put me on blood thinners, and I was referred to a hematologist oncologist. So about a week after my hospital stay, and now keep in mind, I got out of the hospital Thanksgiving Day. So literally Thanksgiving Day, I was discharged. A week after Thanksgiving, I already had an appointment. So that kind of made me feel a little iffy because I'm like, this the holidays and they rushing me in here. Let me see what's going on. So I met the doctor. He was like, we just want to get some testing because you're very young. At the time, I was only, let's see, if I'll be 38 this year, that means at the time I was 35. And he was like 34, 35. And he was like, you're very young. This isn't something that we typically see in people your age. So we just want to rule out any other problems. Cool. I don't have an issue with that. Well, I found out about a week after that appointment. Now, the whole time I was on blood thinners because the ER had prescribed them to me because I had a blood clot. So they told me to keep taking them until I saw the hematologist oncologist. So he called, they called me, had me come back in, and was like, you have something called Leiden factor 5. Leiden factor 5 is in my case, I only have 1 copy of the gene that's mutated. So what that means is that my blood isn't going to clot like how a normal person's blood would clot. I run the risk of having more blood clots than the average person. I did not know that until I had that blood clot. So I do a lot of flying. I do a lot of driving. Like there are times, sometimes I'll drive 13, 14 hours at a time. If I did not know the condition that I have, it's a possibility I could have been on somebody's roof just doing a regular inspection, threw a blood clot, and dropped dead. And nobody would have known why because I was never tested for this. The reason why this is not something that I would have ever been tested for, even though when I realized what I had, I started looking back just at certain symptoms and I was like, this explains a lot of things, is because it is something that is found primarily in people of European descent. That's not me. So because of that, I would have never been tested for it. So me having that blood clot that almost killed me actually saved my life. So after that, I decided, okay, I'm not going to keep doing these sit down jobs. I need to get up. I need to get moving. At this time, I want to say I was around 280 when I applied to be a catastrophe adjuster. But I was like, you know what? I got 6 weeks of training. I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to do what I need to do and get down to a place where I can comfortably climb a ladder. I wasn't expecting to be skinny. I'll never be skinny because this is just my body type. But I wanted to be healthy. So I applied for the jobs. I was like, I have to do something different. And it was more money. So I was like, let me go ahead and take this leap. Let me get into another career field. It's going to give me what I need as far as physicality, and it'll also help support me financially. Best decision I ever made in my life. Because of that career change, in January of 2024, I was able to afford a tummy tuck and an arm lift. I will see if I can insert those photos so you can see. I'll see if I can insert a photo at my heaviest. Then I will insert my before and afters after the tummy tuck and the arm lift. So the reason why I had those done was because I had a lot of skin that was hanging off of my arms. I called them potato salad making arms. Like, I'm a good cook. And you could tell how good of a cook I was based on these big mama arms that I had. And also, in my apron was like still hanging because I had a lot of loose skin. There was some fat there. There was also a lot of loose skin. So I wanted to be able to move better. Like, trying to get on a roof when you got your boobs sticking out to here, your belly sticking out to here, it's really uncomfortable. So I did the tummy tuck and arm lift January of 2024, January 31st of 2024 to be exact. I took off about 4 months from work, healed up beautifully, love my results. My doctor is amazing. My surgeon is amazing, I should say. So the reason why I am in this hotel room today is because tomorrow, Tuesday, January 28th, I will be getting my pre-op appointment done with the same surgeon, Dr. Kimberly Singh in Atlanta, Georgia, Panacea Plastic Surgery, to have Lipo 360. So the reason why I call it Lipo 360 is because even though it's technically not that, because she said if she saw something in my belly area that she wanted to take off or anything on my waist, she would go ahead and do that. So she's really going to be working around the entire portion, like the entire top part of my body. Well, not even just the top part, because she's going to do my hips too. She's going to do some liposuction on my hips too, just so I'm not shaped funny. Because I mean, my legs and everything else are natural, but she just wants to give me a little bit more shape. I'm okay with that, baby. I'm paying you my money. Do what you want to do. Make me look like a mini Coke bottle. I say a mini Coke bottle because remember, I'm under 5 feet tall. So the primary areas though that we are going to be focusing on is this back. Baby, this back. When I tell you there is no working out that I can do that will ever get my back exactly how I want it. Because, and I truly believe when I was so big, my body was just like, okay, let me put fat wherever it'll go. And my back, for some reason, my back was like, I got prime real estate back here, baby, load me up. And that's what my body did. So even after losing 150 pounds, this is still my back. So I have a jacket on, so you can't really see it, but I have rolls here and here. And like the skin, I get rashes because I sweat so much. So because of that, that's why I'm gonna get lipo primarily on my back, so that I can address that, so I don't have those huge rolls that when you're sweating and, you know, chafing and all that other stuff. Like if you a big girl, you know, or even if you a big dude, you know, a big person, you know what it's like to deal with the chafing and the rashes and stuff like that. And I just don't want to deal with that anymore. So to have my back match the front, Dr. Singh is going to be doing another procedure on me. It's actually Dr. Singh and Dr. Abushi. They are together. They always operate together. So if you ever decide that you want to use them, it doesn't really matter what surgeon you book with, because they'll both be in the operating room. And I love that so much, because you have checks and balances. And I truly feel like that's why they're so successful, especially with plus size patients, because they're working as a team. One is looking over the other to make sure that everything goes the way that it's supposed to go, and you're under anesthesia for a lot less time. I'm all about that, because anesthesia is harsh on your girl. So after tomorrow's pre-op appointment, coincidentally, my Lipo 360 will be on January 31st of this year, 2025. So last January 31st, she took off this belly and these back wings. And this January 31st, she's going to take care of this back. So after the surgery vlogs, and I'm going to take y'all with me on every step of the way. I'm going to see if I can record in the room tomorrow for my pre-op appointment, just so you all can kind of hear the answers and stuff that she gives me. But I will definitely be taking you with me on the day of surgery. Of course, I can't take you in the room, but I'll be vlogging before and after. I have to spend the night in the hospital because it's considered a high mass liposuction. So they're taking out more than the standard amount. So because of that, they just want to keep me in the hospital, make sure that everything is okay. And that's another reason why I chose this surgeon as well, just due to my health history, because I am fully aware that I can pay half of the price in Mexico or Colombia or Turkey and be just fine. But because of my health history, I need to stay close to home. Staying close to home for me is having surgery in Atlanta. If something happens when I go back home, it's only a 2-hour drive. And I'm almost certain, just based on the surgeon that I have, if need be, she'll come see me if I get hospitalized. I don't have that with surgeons overseas. So like, I get it, because for this liposuction, it is, before I give you the price, let me fully explain everything that she's doing. So like I said, she's going to be doing my back. She's also going to do my hips, bilateral chest, so this right here. She'll probably hit my flanks again, but she did that last year when I had the tummy tuck. And then she also said, you know, she'll take out anything that she wants to take out here, which, girl, please, because I'm bloated. Yeah, let's do that. Like, I'm literally bloated. My stomach this morning was flatter than this, but I didn't eat and stuff since then. So she is going to be doing, again, just to cover everything, bilateral chest, my hips, upper back, lower back, waist, and stomach. And this is including the overnight stay, because the surgery will be done at Northside Memorial Hospital in Atlanta. So the total amount for everything all together is $10,192. Again, I am fully aware I could go to another country and it would be a whole lot cheaper. But when I factor in the travel cost, having to bring somebody with me, making sure that, you know, if I would have went to Mexico, that I would have brought somebody Spanish speaking with me, because we need to be able to talk about some things. It would have ended up being almost the same, if not more, than if I just would have stayed in Georgia. So that's what I decided to do. I feel comfortable here. And again, this is no shade to the girls that go overseas or the guys that go overseas. I just know with my health history, I can't do it. So I'll be taking you with me for the everything. Like I said, I'll be vlogging before and after the surgery. Well, I know before. I'll have to see how I feel after. I'll be vlogging when I get my post-op massages, because a lymphatic massage is very, very important to your healing process. It helps to prevent fibrosis. It also helps with the swelling. So I'll be showing you with that, any faja fittings that I have. And I'll also, just to be completely open and transparent with you, because this isn't cheap. And I want, for anyone that wants to go through this, I want you to be fully aware of what you're going into. I'll also just be keeping a running tab of how much money I've spent, just so you all will know, once it's all said and done, how much all of this costs. So after I heal from my surgery, then I'll be taking you all with me on the road. So like I said, I travel a lot. What my goal is I want any place that I go, I'm going to try new foods. So I'll take y'all with me. I'll look at housing in the area. I'll find things to do, just to kind of, you know, show y'all what the life is like on the road. And the reason why I'm also going to look at housing is because I'm thinking about moving. I just don't know where yet. So this job is actually kind of perfect for me, because it lets me see other places and getting paid to do so. So after I'm all healed from surgery, then I'll be taking y'all on the road. But for now, we are going to focus on this naturalization that is about to happen. And I cannot wait to take y'all with me. I really, really appreciate the time that you have taken out to get to know me and watch my very first video. And I cannot wait to take y'all on this journey. All right, unicorns, be magical,